Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is India. If you're new here, I am a mom, a wife, a writer. But today I don't want to talk about the writing. I want to talk about being a mom and some of the difficulties that come with that. Just full transparency during this video. Now, my son is a rainbow baby. And what that means is that he was the child that's born after the loss of another child. So it's kind of when you go through like a loss, like that rainy season, you get a rainbow, right? So that's what we consider a rainbow baby in the lost community. So he is a rainbow baby, and he's being raised as like an only child because he doesn't know about his older brother yet. And that's a conversation I'll have to have with him when he gets older, where he can, understand. But some of the challenges that come with that, and him being, an only child, is that, you tend to want to keep them pretty close. So we did put him in any kind of daycare, which, at the time was good because, we went into like lockdown like right before like his first birthday. If you remember, like the pandemic seems like such a long time ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. So he had always just been with us, and while like my husband and I, we've tried to go out and do things, get him acclimated. If sometimes it feels as though I have let him down in some kind of way. And if you relate to this, I would love to hear some of the things that if this resonates with you as a mom, just feeling like you have somehow let your child down in some kind of way, and you don't like feeling that way. Definitely don't like feeling that I've let him down in some kind of way, but it feels like that because he'll be going to kindergarten next year, or age-wise he should be going to kindergarten next year, but it doesn't feel that he is ready for kindergarten, and it has just brought up a lot of insecurities in me as a mom, because we have taken him to they call them interviews because we want to get him into like a private school, just because of the teacher to student ratio. That is very appealing to me, and not that public schools are bad, because I've been to public schools, my husband's been to public schools, so it's not like we don't know, but just the fact that there's less students in the room, and there's more teachers on hand, just appeals to us, as parents, because we just want to give the best to him that we can, right? And so we do these interviews, and so far it doesn't seem like he is ready for kindergarten, which has just honestly just thrown me for a loop. And I don't know, it could just be because I never went to like a daycare or a preschool growing up, and I mean, I feel like I did fine, but again, like, I'm not my son's not me, right? So it's not necessarily about me, it's about doing what's best for him. And so I had just really just been feeling like a terrible mom, that they're saying he's not ready for kindergarten, because I thought that kindergarten was the place where you do learn these things, but that does not seem to be the case. So we're gonna look into preschool, because while I have worked with my son, to be honest, he wants nothing to do with me teaching him, and I'm sure a lot of parents can relate to that. Like, he just doesn't want anything to do with me trying to teach him. So we're looking to get him into preschool, and hopefully, by going to preschool, maybe he'll still be ready to do kindergarten next year, because there is like some time, like he might just flourish not being home with us. And it took some time to come to like terms with that, you know, because like I personally feel like, you know, being at home and getting that one-on-one attention should be like the best thing, but that's not the case. And just accepting that it's not about my feelings, it's really about doing what's best for my son. So I'm going to get him into preschool, and you know, hopefully he's ready for kindergarten in the fall. But if he's not, then that's okay. You know, I don't want to, you know, put him in a situation where he feels super behind, you know, all of his friends. I just don't want to. I don't want to put him in that kind of situation, because I understand that that could be very harmful to a child, especially if it starts that young, feeling like you're so behind your peers, and I don't want that. So the rest of this year, we basically only have like a month left, but that's fine. I am really hitting the books to just show up as the best possible mom that I can for him, and just realizing that I can only do so much, but there are people out there that are better equipped for teaching, and he might listen to them better as far as teaching goes, and that's okay, right? I got this book. I went to the Half Price bookstore. If you can see this, I got my little bookmark. I haven't gotten too far into it, but it's the complete idiot's guide to raising a strong-willed child, because yeah, he is very he's very strong, which is not a bad thing, right? You know, that's not a bad thing. I think that that's definitely going to serve him, you know, as he gets older, because, you know, he'll stick to what he knows is right, and he won't go along with whatever, you know, everybody else is doing. So I think that that is a great thing. But I picked up this book so that I can show up in the way that he needs me to show up, because, you know, there's always room for improvement. There's just always room for improvement. I think that, you know, you can never stop learning something. And maybe, you know, the way that I've been parenting before, you know, something's not getting through. So I'm reading this right now. If you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. But this is what I found at the Half Price bookstore. I love the Half Price bookstore. But yeah, so I got this at the Half Price bookstore, because you just never know what kind of gems you're going to find there. And it's just so far, it's just such an amazing book. Just really showing me, you know, like, for example, when my son is not acting the way that he should, we do timeouts. But, you know, in this book, doing a timeout for an extroverted child seems like the worst thing ever. So just gonna go through this book some more, take notes, so that I can show up as the best possible mom for him, so that we can really like flourish and just, you know, help him to develop in the way that he needs. You know, really honing in on his skills, because everybody learns differently, everybody is different, and so that's really like the best thing to do for him. And like, even talking through this right now, like some of those insecurities that I was feeling in the beginning are quieting down now. I'm not feeling so much like I'm just this terrible mom because, you know, they're saying that he's not ready for kindergarten. You know, taking a deep breath and realizing that it's about what's doing best for my son, and you know, just showing up for him, and getting him around, you know, other kids to play with, since, you know, he has been at home. And honestly, like, even reading through the book, the few chapters that I've gotten through, so much of it was like, wow, that is my son. You know, we'd go to like the playgrounds and he'd run up to other kids, and he's too much energy for them, right? And they talk about that in the book. You know, there's just so much energy. So I'm going to keep going through that book, making notes, and you know, hopefully we see like a gradual change. I don't want to say like a huge change, but a gradual change, because I think gradual changes are more likely to last than if there's like a huge like upheave. And you know, obviously he's going to be going through a lot in the beginning of next year when he starts preschool, because he's never been away from us. Yeah, he's like never really been away from us for like that long, so it's gonna be a process. But I am hopeful. I'm just hopeful for the new year, and I hope that this has helped you in some way. If you're also a mom, or just even, you know, just a parent, you know, you don't have to be a mom, but I hope that this has helped you to just realize that it's okay, that it's not anything you've done, that, you know, just taking a step back and looking at all the resources that are out there. You know, you don't always have to go to like, you know, a grandparent, because every child is different, right? And they just might not know. So just use all the resources that you have made available to you. You know, obviously, if you don't have like a half-price bookstore, I'm sure there is some kind of bookstore or library, and of course, there's always the internet. You just have to be careful with the information you take in on the internet. But yeah, I hope that this has blessed you. Yeah, I hope this has blessed you. So, bye-bye.